All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hudson Public Utilities Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, January 10th, 23. We are going to get started with roll call. Michelle, if you could please take our roll.
Sure. Andy Hudson.
Here.
Carrie Rice.
Here.
Dave Preisel.
Here.
Joyce Hall.
Here.
Susie Corum.
Here.
Patrick Moose.
Here.
And Pat Nolan.
Here.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. All right, so we will get started up right in. So approval of meeting minutes for December 13th, Public Utilities Commission.
Move to approve. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, everybody. Let's jump down to new business 3.1, discussion and possible action on Magni Pay app number 31, which will be in our folder. Kip, you want to review that real quick?
Yeah, so Magni Pay app number 31 is in the amount of $61,308.60. Just an update. Well, obviously, the engineers, they have gone through and looked at everything, so everything is good with them on what's been done. They are still working on punch list items down there. It's down to, I believe, about a page of punch list items. So we are getting things kind of wrapped up down there for a while now. I know they were down there today working on the fence. So it's just kind of a couple minor things that they have to do yet this winter. And then pretty much everything is just going to kind of come to a halt until we get rid of all the snow, when we can actually go back and start with, any outside stuff that has to be done, landscaping, things of that nature. So.
Great. Anybody have questions for Kip?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Thanks, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 3.2, well, number 8, pump and column repair.
Okay, so again, in your packet, proposals were received for the rehab of well number 8. The following proposals were received in the sheets below. Just for clarification, all proposals were completed using submitted labor and the submitted unit pricing for materials. And I'll explain what that means in a bit here. These proposals do not include material costs due to the unknown nature of what will be needed, once they're replaced or repaired, once the well is pulled and inspected. So if you look at the proposals, I've got well 8 and well 10 on one. So what I mean by the labor and submitted unit price for materials is, when we send this out, we break it down into a labor cost. So what's it going to be? Complete labor for them to pull everything out, bring it back to their shop, disassemble it, make it, and then determine any repairs that have to be made, and then reassemble it and then put it back in. So that's your labor cost. The unit pricing for materials, what we use. So for example, some column pieces, some, 8 or 10 inch column pieces, which is what goes down into the well. We don't really know how many of them have to be replaced, if there's some bearings that need to be replaced, different things that might need to be replaced. We don't know any of that until we actually pull them out. So what we use for unit pricing is a column. Let's just say, for example, one column piece. Everybody will submit their pricing for, what they charge for one 20-foot section column. Let's just say it's $1,000. Another company might say it's, $1,200, things like that. So we just use unit pricing for that. So the proposals that you're looking at, they're kind of deceiving in a way that these are going to be minimum cost. This would be our minimum cost. So for example, in well 8, when you're looking at that sheet, you've got Keys well drilling at $22,521.25. that is a minimum cost to have them pull it out. If absolutely nothing is wrong with it, we would be very close to that cost. It would probably be up a little bit just because there's airlines that have to be replaced and different things like that. But we really don't know the cost until they pull that out. So what we're doing tonight is approving, one of these four that had submitted these to pull everything out and put things back in. Now, like I said, there will be additional expenses that I'll deal with once we get the proposals back on what they found wrong with anything, if anything, and then we'll deal with it at that. So, and I just kind of want to touch base on well 10 right away. So 3.3, since you're looking at both of them. One thing, we're pulling 2 wells, and we plan on starting with well number 8. Which is what we want to start with, but we can't pull well 10 until well 8 is completely finished and put back in service. So it has to be, completely done, tested, sampled. Then we put it back in service. Then well 10 would come into play. One thing that I would like to see is if we just go with one company. There's not really much difference between your Keys well drilling and municipal well and pump. You're looking at, what is it, $60, somewhere around there. But municipal well was low bid on number 10. So it's for coordination purposes, it's going to make it way easier on staff. If we have one company in, they do well 8, they get that completely done. Then once that's back up and running, then they can do 10. Now, it's completely up to you. If you want to go with, 2 different companies, we'll make it work. But that's just my suggestion on that. So you had well 8, Keys well drilling came in at $22,521.25. Municipal well and pump came in at $22,579. Trout companies came in at $27,445. CTW well and pump came in at $32,774.95. So that's for well 8.
Why do you suppose the Keys on well 10? Why do you suppose Keys was so much higher?
Keys was so much higher because they need to rent a crane to pull well 10. The configuration of that building requires a crane. And I know these other companies have one that they own. So I'm sure their cost is way down just because of that. And it actually showed up in the documents that they had sent that Keys does have almost $9,000 in there just for a crane rental. Okay.
Well, from what I'm seeing, I mean, it seems like it would make sense to have municipal do both of them, considering that on well number 8, I mean, it's only a $60 difference. I guess we'd be kind of splitting hairs right there. And Kip, it sounds like what I'm hearing is that there would probably definitely be a benefit just to have one company do both. Am I hearing that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about this or suggestions, concerns?
Just a couple quick questions. I know we've got some new members on and things like that. So, Kip, from previous experience, could you just go through what it's like to pull a pump and do column repair? And then also, just from history, what could those extra costs look like in regards to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, etc., just from previous pull and repairs?
Sure. So what they do, obviously we shut the well down. They come in with a crane or a well drilling truck. They pull everything out. The motor, which sits on the top of the well, actually, we take that right down the street here from our shop. That goes down to the motor company. They go through all the windings. They check everything to make sure that the motor is working properly and things of that nature. But for the companies that are pulling and stuff like that, they pull them out. Now these wells are probably anywhere between 350 to 450 feet deep. Our columns run anywhere between 150 to probably 250 feet down into that hole. So when they pull everything out, all of these column pieces come out. The column pieces, they load them on a truck, they bring them back to the shop. They go through them to look for any pitting that might be happening, any erosion that might be happening from possibly pumping sand, things of that nature. They make a recommendation on, should we replace it? Are the threads still good on them? When they screw everything together with couplings, are the threads still good? So they'll make a recommendation based off of what they find once they pull everything out. The other thing that we do is we also have them televise the well. So they actually will take a underwater camera and they run it down, the distance of the well so we can check the formation just to make sure everything's the way it should be, that we're not seeing, any shifting of the formation, of the hole that was drilled, different things of that nature. So that's kind of what they do. Now, average well, we usually budget right around $50,000 per well. So I can't remember exactly what I have in my budget for this year. But we actually right around that $50,000, it could be a little less, it could be a little more. Like I said, it just kind of depends on what we find or what's found once they pull it. So well 8, if you're looking at a $22,500 cost to pull it, that easily could jump up to $50,000 just depending on what we find. And then, we do a lot of, we'll put coatings on our pipes, different things of that nature, just to help protect them. So that's kind of ballpark. I would say, $40,000, $50,000 to pull a well and have it reestablished. So,
okay. How about timeline, Kip? When you
timeline, if they can get in here and weather works and everything's good, you're looking at usually about 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish. By the time they pull it, bring it back to their shop, go through it, make recommendations. We look at the recommendations. I know sometimes, with Keys well drilling, when they've done them in the past, we've actually gone to the shop and looked at the piping if there was any questions that we might have had, type thing. But yeah, usually, right in that 6-week range is about what we can expect.
Thanks, Kip. Patrick, did you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to ask about well 10. How long has that been in operation?
That was put in 2016, 17.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe. So it's at its 5. This is the first time that one will be pulled.
That's what I thought. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's at its 5-year mark. So this is the first time that one will be pulled.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how that one's functioning and, what the piping and all that stuff looks like once we pull that one.
I remember when we built that and we got to see the video of them putting that camera down. That was something else. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The video of them are, if you're ever bored and you got nothing to do for an hour, shoot me an email. I can send it to you because it is kind of cool. You get to see all the rock formations that are in there. You get to see, when was the last time that you ever looked 350 feet down a hole into the earth? So, it is pretty interesting. I guess I find it interesting, but I'm a water dork. I guess.
You're just a big nerd. That's all right. Okay. So, were there any other questions for Kip? Concerns about this? All the bids are looking pretty good. I guess my proposal would be to go with municipal well and pump for both well 8 and well number 10.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So we are going to grant approval for municipal well and pump on well number 8 for $22,579. And for well number 8 and well number 10, we are approving municipal well and pump for $26,036. All right. Thank you, everybody. So we just got through 3.2 and 3.3. The next one is going to be 3.4, discussion and possible action on the purchase of the 2023 Vacator 21001 for the wastewater department.
Okay, so the wastewater department, this was part of our budget process when we went through this. We had talked about this. We did not budget for this, that we actually said that we were going to use reserve funds to pay for this. I know this is an item that we have been discussing for years. And with it being such a big ticket item, it's kind of taken us years to figure out where and when we can fit it into our reserve fund purchasing. So the wastewater department is requesting the purchase of a 2023 Vector 2100i through McQueen Equipment. McQueen Equipment is the state of Minnesota state contract dealer for the Vector under the competitive bid. So we do meet all of our competitive bid requirements on going through them for this purchase. We currently have a Vector, is what we currently run. So we wanted to stay with something. The guys are very happy with that. So we wanted to stay with the same equipment. So this is for a 2024 Kenworth chassis, T88, 370 horsepower, Allison automatic. It's a tandem rear axle. And then the Vector itself is going to be a 2023 Vector 2100i with the Kenworth chassis. And then we also added a tool and nozzle package that we need to run this. So your total proposal is $570,866. And again, we would be using reserve funds for this purchase. Lead time on these is a couple months for sure. We'd hope to get it sooner, but we're probably looking at 6 to 8 months for sure, probably before we'd even see anything on this, unless something magically happens that we could get it sooner. There is a 1-year warranty on everything. McQueen is right across the border for service for us. That's currently where we take our equipment now for any service that has to happen on these. And then I just kind of put some brochures in there, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're actually looking at. If you go down to page 7 of 18, which is what I'm looking at, there's a white one with a green body on it. That's very similar to what ours would look like, with the exception of the green. We're looking at a gray body on there. So just kind of gives you everything, what it all entails. It probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys what any of that stuff means.
Well, I was going to ask, are we gonna paint this, or are we just slapping some Hudson decals on the side of it?
We would, yeah, definitely. It comes, with the Vector 2100i, but there's nothing on the doors, so we would actually do it just like we do our trucks.
Okay.
We would have it decaled up, with our logo, with the red and green, or the blue and green stripes. So yeah.
Yep. When was the last time you purchased one of these?
I'm sorry, say that again, David.
The last time one was purchased, our old truck?
Our old one is oh boy, it's probably 20 years. I think it's a 2003, 2004. We did have discussion with McQueen about possible trade-in, what we would get for that. They weren't real comfortable giving me any numbers at this point, just because we still have a year left, roughly a summer left of using it, before we'd be ready to either A, trade it in, or B, sell it outright. We could always put it on the state surplus website, and see what we can get for it, things of that nature. That's all stuff that I would definitely look into, further down the line, once we're ready, once the new one is here and we know it works. I'd prefer to probably keep the old one for, a month or two, just to make sure this one's gonna work, that we don't run into an issue where we'd have to send it in for service, and then we're stuck without one type thing. So.
And then I'm assuming we'll end up selling our old one then, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we would sell our old one, which would, offset the cost. Now, I am just guessing. The old one's worth, I'm guessing, I don't even want to tell you. I'm guessing between, let's just say $50,000 to $100,000.
Okay.
That's a lot more than I expected you to say.
Well, they're to smaller communities. Those are, the thing is, it's a nice machine, yet it's just too small for us. When the guys are out running these things, 5 days a week in the summer, the water tanks aren't big enough, for what we do, for the size of pipes that we clean and different things like that. So, the bigger one is going to be way better for them. But to a smaller community, that the one that we have I came from a small community. I would have loved to have had that machine. So it is worth something.
And it's still running well and working well?
Yeah, it's still, it's getting weak. There's things on it that are kind of getting just weaker. We have had it in, for parts up front on the hose reel. I believe new tires were put on it recently or in the last year or two. So yeah, it's just kind of, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just for the amount of work that these guys put in with these things. It's undersized for a community of our size that we use or that we do. So
will the new ones save a lot of time then, because they won't have to run back and forth
they don't have to go. Yeah, they don't have to go back and forth. I was just trying to look and see what what the capacity is of the new one, but it's probably double in size. Water tank capacity right here is anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 gallons. We currently, I believe ours holds 400, maybe somewhere in there. So yeah, just the because then when they run out of water, they have to stop. They have to pick everything up, pick up all the cones, shut the manholes, run back to a hydrant, run back to the fill station, fill everything back up, and then just go back and restart it again. So
now I don't know much about this type of equipment, but is it common or possible for them to retrofit larger tanks on our existing truck, or is that not? No. I don't know. I'm sure the technology is a lot newer too, and
the technology on this one is way better. Obviously, being 20 years newer, it's no different than a car. Your technology is going to be way better. One thing that we are actually adding, that we did actually add to this, is an extended boom, which allows the guys to get into more spots, when they're trying to get to manholes that are in farm fields, for example, or back lot lines, different things like that. The other thing that we did add to this is the ability to where we can use this machine to dig holes, which is going to be extremely handy for us. Currently your curb boxes, which are how we turn your water on and off to your house. Okay. So when those break, which they do, we probably average 10, 15 a year that we find that are broken. At that point, they have to be completely dug up. So we have Zappa come in, dig down with his high hose. You're digging up asphalt, you're digging up curb and gutter, you're digging up sidewalks, you're digging everything up. Now, I'm not going to say that 100% we're going to be able to fix all of them that we run into. But with this machine now, it's basically a huge shop vac is what it is. But it has the ability to, with a wand system, to use water in the vacuum to actually where we can dig holes with it, so the guys can actually go down right around these curb boxes. So we're hoping to use it for a lot more stuff like that. In the water department, in the sewer department, and things. So. Yeah, they're a very nice machine. Safety wise, they're going to be a lot better. The lighting system's going to be a lot better on it for in traffic. They're quieter than the ones that we're running today. Just for being up on, being out on the streets and different things like that. So.
And I think the truck we have right now drove past my house every day this summer, and you hear it coming. Holy cow.
Well, and here's the other thing with that truck. The current one that no, forget it. I don't even want to talk about it.
Sounds like a little tank coming through.
I can tell y'all privately if you're wondering.
Does anybody else have other questions or concerns about the truck?
Just a quick question about how many team members are going to be trained on this truck?
The entire wastewater is trained on it. They currently are. They will be again on this new one. It does include training. Obviously when we buy it, there's going to be all new, computer program or computers on it and different stuff like that. So the cost does include all the training to come out. So the guys know what they're actually running. They've ran them. We've demoed these for years. When they get demos in, we bring them. I think Patrick's probably had a couple demos up in the village too, where they come in and they'll actually show you how they run, what they're, all the new bells and whistles and different things like that are on them.
Great. Any other questions for Kip?
I'll make a motion to accept the proposed amount of $570,000, $866, to move forward with the purchase of the vac truck.
Second.
Joyce, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you, everybody. Project updates, project status report, the utility project status report.
Yeah, nothing on there other than just, and it should be, we're up to date on Magny with their pay request number 30. So
okay,
nothing else really on there.
Great. Other business for informational purposes only or for an upcoming agenda. 5.1, we got discussion and possible action or discussion on joining the DPW with the new public works facility for storage of jetter and other equipment.
So now that you just purchased a new jetter, we talked, some of you that have been on here for a while, if you remember right, we talked about we're out of room. Part of the wastewater treatment plant project, we lost our garages down there. We're down to one single stall down at the garage now at the wastewater treatment plant. So there's nowhere to park, any equipment, trucks, different things like that. So we had at one time talked about adding a garage here at the service center. And it came out to be, what was it? I believe, about $500,000, about $500,000 by the time we were done, adding a 60 by 100 foot, garage so we could actually park, trucks and get everybody back to the center. The jetter, different equipment that we have, generators, different things like that. So with saying all that, Public Works has just been approved to start the process of designing a new facility. And what I'm asking is if we would be interested in possibly joining Public Works, not for their whole facility. All I'm looking for is just a section that, we could add X amount of square feet onto their building that would be designated for us to just use as parking. We don't plan on moving up there. We don't plan on doing anything other than just a place to store some equipment, to get it out of our way and things like that. And I thought, as long as Public Works is talking about building this might be the time for us to look at, instead of building our own storage facility, we're going to need this eventually. I mean, Hudson's growing. We all know this. The utility's getting bigger. Every year we keep growing. We are going to run into a real shortage at some point. So what I would like to do is to possibly, become part of the talks with Public Works about just adding, however many square feet we think we'll need. I haven't given this much thought other than what I'm just trying to throw out there right now, but I just kind of wanted everybody's thoughts on, what do you think about that? I don't have any
numbers
in terms of what I would be looking at possibly. I mean, this could be anything from, $50,000 to $100,000. I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't want to miss this opportunity if Public Works is building a new facility to have us say, hey, what's it going to take to add X amount of square feet onto your building? The heating, I mean, all that stuff's going to be there. It's just basically adding square footage to it. But that would be designated for us to just store some equipment in there. I have talked to Mike Mraz. He's open to it, letting us in discussion. Now, I don't even know if it'll actually work or not. We don't know, but I just kind of wanted to throw this out there and just, if you guys are completely opposed to this, then I'll just drop it. But if not, I'll join up with them guys and try to figure out, if there's any way that we can make some storage issues that we have go away as part of this Public Works facility.
I think it's a great conversation to have, especially the cost savings that would come along with it. And I'm curious, where is that facility going to be?
I believe somewhere in the industrial park. Maybe Joyce knows more than I do. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't know.
I think it's right on Hanley.
Okay.
Hanley and is that O'Neill?
Yeah.
Goes into the industrial park.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be that far from the public utility building.
Right. That'd be convenient.
No, I think this is a smart idea too. What equipment would you plan to store there?
Well, obviously the jetter would be the first thing that would go up there. We do have, a couple portable generators that we currently store in cold storage. There's a couple things that we could actually move from cold storage up there that we keep plugged in, things like that. But, I'm not looking at doubling their size or anything like that. I mean, no. It would obviously just be a place that, it's designated for us, where we can just kind of park some equipment, it could be a pickup truck or two, that maybe a snow plow that we don't use, in the summer, different things along that line. So
would it have to be sealed off in order to put the jet truck in there?
No.
To keep it from contaminating the rest of the building?
No, because what I'm understanding is I think they're probably looking at like a drive-through, type. You drive in one door, you park at, an angle like that, you back up, you go out the end door. So it might just be something, in terms of just adding X amount of feet onto their building, which would give us the room to, park that jetter for sure. So,
do you anticipate any problems with the financial part of it, since we've got completely separate funding?
No, because they should be able to pull that out. You're going to see, I'm guessing on that project, you're going to see a square footage cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if we entail, that we need X amount of square footage, additional to what they're already putting in, that would be our cost type thing. So, and like I said, they haven't even, well, Joyce, you guys just approved this Monday or something, or last week?
No, they haven't even designed anything yet. So this is the time to be talking about it.
Right. So that's why I wanted to talk about it now. I just wanted to talk about it now. So if we're interested in this, I can get in on the discussion. If we're not interested in this, then there's no need for me to be there. So
it doesn't cost us any money to ask questions and be part of the conversation.
Right. That's the way I look at it too, David.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I don't think I'm not looking for I'm just looking for opinions.
Okay.
Just if, you guys were 100% going, absolutely not, we want to build our own, we want nothing to do with Public Works, then I wouldn't do it. But, if you guys are if you're interested in this, I'll get in on discussions, let them know kind of what we're looking at, and just kind of go from there. See how everything falls out.
Go for it. Have the talk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thanks, Kip. Discussion on resignation of wastewater employee and starting the recruitment process.
So this is just FYI. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I sent anything out. I couldn't remember, but we did have a wastewater employee resign. His last day was January 2nd or 3rd. So he is gone already. So I have already started. We've got everything on the websites and all over the place. So we are starting to look for a replacement employee. So hoping to have somebody on board here maybe in March.
Great.
So
awesome.
So just so everybody's aware of that.
Thanks, Kip. Any questions for Kip on that? Seems to be pretty.
We figure out where he went or why he left.
I'm not exactly sure. He went to some engineering firm, and I don't even know what he's going to be doing there. I sent him a bunch of questions on like an exit interview type thing. And I never received anything back from him. So I did have a conversation with him before he left. It was basically just it had nothing to do with unhappiness or anything like that. It was just a better job for him. Kind of a move up. So you can't blame anybody ever for doing that.
Nope.
But yeah, I did send out, after I talked to him, I emailed him with an exit interview. There was probably 10 questions on there, but I did not receive anything back on that. So.
Great. Thank you, Kip. We are moving on to number 6.1, sewer utility and water utility cash reports.
So you've got the cash reports in there. We do not need, that's just FYI.
Yep.
So is this for year end? So December 31st, 2022, that's the year, that's it?
No, because you do not see, no, because our fourth quarter utility billing has not gone out yet. So that will all come into, January, first part of February is when that'll all start coming in. So these will change.
So I'm just looking at some of the dates and things like that. Cash and checking as of January 1st, 2022. Should that say 2023?
I'm not sure where.
Top of the page.
Through December 31st, 2022. But that will change though, David.
How about down below? We've got net increase, decrease toward the bottom of the page for 2021 from operations.
Yep.
Should that be a different number, not 2021, but 2022?
Yeah, you got to understand that when they generate these, they're generating them right now. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. When they're generating these, they're generating them right now. But we still have bills coming in that are still accounted to 2022, and we have our fourth quarter, our October, November, December bills that have to go out that will also come into 2022. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep. I'm just looking at
so these are a snapshot of what it looked like whenever they, last week when they generated these.
Right. But why would we have 2021 data on that?
That's because that's just showing what we were at for your increase from 2021 is what that's showing.
Okay.
The way I'm reading it.
So it wouldn't be from 2022.
No.
Operations. So, okay. Okay. So we're seeing the balance that I'm seeing right now on the bottom of the sewer cash report. The balance is from 1/1/22.
The balance is that was your starting balance, I believe. So your starting balance on 1/1/22 was 8.1, and then your balance when they did it, I don't know what date they did it. Last week they did this, so that would have been your balance as of last week. But like I said, you're still seeing bills coming in that are 2022 that were ordered or the work was performed in 2022. Normally we close, everything gets closed out end of January, first week or two in February is when everything gets closed out. And then the books get trued up after that.
Okay. And I'll call you on. I'm just confused on those dates. They don't. Me looking at this right now on the 10th of January in 2023. Why those dates are cash and checking showing me from the first of the year, a year later. Am I missing something?
I'm not. I'm kind of seeing what, but I'm not real sure what your question is.
That 145 is cash and checking as of January 1st of 2022. It's a year later. We're in 2023 right now. I'll call you.
Yeah, call me, David, because we can always. I mean, and it could just be a typo in there too. I'm not real sure. Finance puts all this together, so
I don't know. I'll give you a ring.
Yeah, give me a ring on that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'd be curious to know if that's a typo.
Yeah, it seems like that net increase should be for 2022, because then it would make sense.
And that very well could be. I'll make a note in my packet and see if I can.
Okay.
I'll talk to Allison and just have that clarified.
Thanks for justifying my craziness.
Doesn't happen often, but here you go. All right. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Kep. Number 7, discussion and possible action on claims. Utility payables. Everybody have a chance to go through these?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
I got one question,
All right.
if I can.
Please.
As just curiosity, mostly, I guess. There's the charges for the North Hudson consolidation services and rate studies. I was just curious if there's anything that's going to be shared on that, or is it? I mean, do you have a status as to what's happening, what they're studying, or I guess just wanted to kind of be in the loop.
Where is that?
Well, there's been.
Are you talking from Trilogy?
Yeah, Trilogy, and I think there was something as well from your attorney.
Are you talking about
consolidation fee?
Are you talking about the water rate analysis? Sorry, Patrick, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, water rate analysis, and I think there was a wastewater. I don't know. I've seen them throughout my time here, I guess. Just curious as to if there's any kind of documentation or anything, or if any of that's going to be shared. Or
some of that stuff that is working will be shared. It's not ready to be shared yet. Okay. But all that stuff will be shared at some point.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Skip. Thanks, Patrick. Any other questions from anybody on the payables?
Where are we at? Did someone make a motion?
We did not. Joyce did? Okay. Excuse me. So we need a second.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you. That passes. And now we move to adjournment.
So moved.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
You.
Night.